Hi, Pascal. Chris Campbell from the outfield.
Hi, Chris.
I'm curious as to how the progression of Malachi Jones is going through the offseason. I know he's coming off the ACL tear or the broken leg last year. How is his progression going? What's kind of the plan to get him back incorporated with the first team? Thanks.
Well, we're trying to get him close to the first team every day. However, in every rehab, you have moments where it goes fast, it goes according to plan, and sometimes there's a delay. But we're going to take our time, and Mali is working really hard in order to get back to the team as soon as he's ready. But as I said, we're going to take our time and make sure we do things right.
Scott?
Hey, Coach, how are you? Scott Church from Stream Punk.
Hi, Scott. Hi.
Talk a little bit about the progression through Coachella right now. You've had a few weeks under your belt since the last time, and a couple of weeks since we last talked. What have you seen that's different from maybe a couple of weeks back? Thanks.
Well, as I mentioned, I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you, though, but what I'm looking for is a higher intensity in training so we can apply that during games. I think if you look at our games in Coachella, you see that we're able to keep that intensity in games and make sure that we have a lot of attacking play on the pitch. Yesterday was a game that we got to try a few other guys who've been part of the roster since the beginning of preseason. But as we are progressing towards the 22nd of February, I hope we can maintain the intensity in training and in games in order to be more successful.
Eduardo?
Yes. Hey, Coach, thank you for your time. Eduardo with 365 Football Mania. Going back to the San Diego FC game, we saw Justin Hack not letting San Diego FC striker Irving Lozano do much, staying close and strong physically.
Mm-hmm.
What was the game plan defensively in terms of trying to control their star striker? Thank you.
Well, we expected Chucky to play. It was either the left side or the right side. For us, it doesn't change that much. We just have to make sure that we maintain and are in control of his strength. And I know Chucky from the Eredivisie in Holland, and I know he has a lot of pace and good movement behind the defense, so that's something that we were prepared for. But we also knew that if we play really tight, if he plays against the ball, that is something he doesn't like. So in that game, it worked out perfectly. And not only Justin played him in the right way, but to be fair, it was all the players in the area where Chucky was playing this game.
Alex?
Hi, Pascal. This is Alex Winley from AM New York.
Hi, Alex.
With just a game left in your preseason, how close do you feel the squad is to being fully prepared for the season opener in about a week? Thanks.
Well, this is the moment that we're preparing for. So once we started on the first day, we mentioned the 22nd of February is the moment to be ready as a team. So we're progressing every day, and we'll be ready once the 22nd is there in order to be competing again for the MLS.
Roberto?
No response.
Hi, unmuting is fun on a phone.
Okay.
Hi, Pascal. Roberto Abramowitz. I do the Spanish radio for your team. Good to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
When we're going to see the team play against Inter Miami in about 9 days now. What are going to be the differences that we're going to see between the team that we saw last year and your version of the team? Because it's mostly the same players, but I'm sure there's going to be some tweaks in style. So what are we going to see that's going to be different?
Well, it's a game itself, so it's hard to compare. But I've mentioned this a few times that the intensity has to go up, and that's what we've been working on in the past few weeks. Of course, in offense, we have some other details that we're looking for. Deep runs is a big part of our approach at this moment, and defensively, we have to be more stable. In order to be competing at a different level, consistency is more required. So, but we are looking for going into attacks with more determination, if you will, and making sure that we will be more in control defensively.
Michael?
Hey, Pascal, it's Mike Ander from Blue City Radio. Thanks again for the time.
Hi, Mike.
I guess a question we always try to figure out when you have a new coach is how long of a leash or how much opportunity you're going to give a certain player to lock in a position and make the position their own, whether it be something they've historically held or something you think that they've earned. How much time do you give them to make mistakes?
That's a good question, but that's very individual based on performances in training, of course, but also in learning capacity. So an individual will always be helped in my approach, but I need to see progression on a daily basis, and that will determine how long I will stick with the same idea or not. So those are the things that are very important.
Chris?
Hey, Coach. Chris Cameron from the outfield again.
Hi, Chris.
2 preseason games ago, we saw Moonstuff and Alonso get some time together on the field, and last season at least, they were really playing the same position, often not together. Was that really just to kind of see what potential there is with the two of them, or to try them out together to see what kind of chemistry there is, or was that more of just looking for minutes from those guys? Thanks.
No, it's the first part. Looking for a collaboration between the two players. You use the word chemistry, which is very important because you have to feel each other out as attackers. Both of them are good as a number 9, but both are also able to score a lot of goals. So for me, it's a great opportunity to see them work together, and this was the perfect moment to apply it during a game. And to be honest, I was quite satisfied with the things I saw during this game. So it helps us to have more tools in our toolbox once we go to battle for the competitive games.
Scott?
Hey, Coach, one more if you don't mind. Thanks.
Hi.
One of the challenges that happened last year, and this was a frustration for the fans a lot, was a lot of second half goals. Has this been something you've been focusing on from, like, say, minutes 70 through 90 this season? Thanks.
Not in particular. If you take the full season, it was very inconsistent in several parts of the season, which also shows, like you described, from the 70-minute onwards in a game that they were also by times inconsistent. I think it has a lot to do with the physical aspect, how well you're trained in order to have consistency over 95 minutes, as I always tell my boys, because a game is not played within 70 minutes, or you should be able to take the game in your own hand and make sure you control the game from the start, and that you will not get into trouble after the 70th minute. So I think it's a combination of those factors, and we've been trying to work on this from day one in order to be more consistent. So hopefully this will work out during the league games.
Oliver?
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue. I watched both of the games. I'm sure that many of the other members of the press here have as well. Is there anything that you would draw our attention to that maybe we didn't notice because of the nature of the camera angle, because of what we could see on TV? So we were looking at the results and at the run of play, but what did you see? What would you point out to us to take note of?
It depends what you're looking for. I look at the whole game as one, looking for certain things that we've been working on in training. So you have to be more specific what it is you're looking for.
Can you give us an example of something you've been working on in training that you saw play out on the field?
Well, if you see the first goal that we concede is after having 2 big chances in possession. So we've been working on controlling possession more on the opponent's half so we can get a better shape whenever we lose possession. So that was something that was really spot on. However, we did concede a goal from a set piece, losing possession just before we conceded that corner kick. So that was something that was very interesting to see, because that is something that we've been working on really hard. We did concede from that set piece, and I was very curious to see if my team was able to stick to the plan as we had talked through and trained on. So that happened. We recovered and stayed in control, and were eventually more effective in our attacking play, and better balanced in the moments that we lost possession.
We'll wrap up with Christian.
Excuse me. Hello, Coach.
Hi.
You talked about the importance of chemistry there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this squad has carried over from last season. I'm curious, how important is that continuity for you when you're trying to introduce new ideas, knowing that the squad already really know each other?
Yeah, that's a big benefit for me coming in as a new coach, because the players, obviously, they know each other on and off the pitch, which helps the chemistry on the pitch. My mission is to mold a team that is compatible for every game in the MLS, be more consistent throughout the MLS competition. So that's a big challenge, but the chemistry being there, that helps. Having young players on the roster who have grown during the past season and will be more mature this season helps a lot. And I must say the learning capacity and the openness and the willingness to exchange new ideas has been fantastic so far. So that is something that we're looking forward to once we start to be competitive again next week.
And if I can just follow up, Matt Freese spoke very glowingly about you just now in terms of the person you are and the person he's come to know in the short time you've worked together. I'm curious, from your perspective, how have you found him? Because obviously he's been with the US for the first part of preseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting, because of course there's a lot of opinions about Matt and his progression and his development. Matt has grown a lot in his personality, but also as a player, as a goalkeeper on field. You see, he brings a certain appearance with him. He brings the level to the game, which allowed him to be invited for the national team as well. So you see he's making progress all over. So we've had a few interesting conversations throughout the last weeks, and I'm very happy that he's part of my squad, because he helps me a lot in the dressing room, and being the leader that he is able to be helps the team as well. So we're very happy that he's part.
I think at this point, a big chunk of the players and a big group of the players have been together now for several years. And I think, the first year where, guys kind of came throughout the year, and then the second year still getting used to each other, still learning and understanding each other a little bit better. So I think we're in a really good spot in terms of continuity, this year, and that may, be different from the last few years. And then obviously with Pascal coming in, it's a really energetic, really energetic atmosphere. A lot of hard work that we'll be doing and have already started to do, and hopefully a lot of rewards and benefits to come from that hard work.
Alex? Eduardo, go ahead.
Oh,
Thank you.
my apologies, my mic was muted.
No problem. We'll come back to you, Alex. We'll go with Eduardo first.
Okay. Hey, Matt. Eduardo with 365 Football Mania. Thank you for your time. Going back to the San Diego FC game, how did that feel to stop San Diego FC star striker Irving Lozano? And was that game as expected? And how did you prepare for that? Thank you.
Yeah, it was a good game, good preseason game. I think it was pretty typical for a preseason game. They were super well organized. Not say that I'm surprised at that. That's not a hit against them or anything, but for a team to have only been together for 3-4 weeks, to be that organized and have that much of a clear identity is really impressive. And on our end, we did our thing, took care of our business. Some really good team goals, really good vision from Justin on the second goal. Fantastic goal from Alonso on the third one. So yeah, in all, I thought it was a really good test. And kind of shows how I think our longevity and our mentality will be able to come through, not just for the first 45 or first 60 minutes, but for all 90 minutes, which is really important in this league.
Alex,
Thank you.
Alex, go ahead.
My apologies for earlier. Hi, Matt. This is Alex Winley from AM New York. From a goalkeeper's perspective, how has the defensive unit progressed throughout the season, and what's been the biggest point of emphasis for you guys? Thank you.
I think the defense looks in a great spot right now. As a whole, obviously, a few injuries here and there, but everyone that's stepped up and played has done really well so far in preseason. I think kind of intensity and communication is a very big part in what we're all trying to preach to each other, building the right habits. When we're in possession of the ball, having good rest defense and being proactive defensively, and then making sure with the ball that we're smart, that we're confident. I think is another big piece, because ultimately we want to find overloads, and from the back we want to expose the other team.
Michael, and then Oliver.
Hey, Matt, it's Mike Ander from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time. Curious on your thoughts about preparation during the preseason. Do you have a perspective on, is it better to, obviously you always want to win every game, but when you're trying out new tactics, are you okay conceding the 3 goals against St. Louis because you're trying out different guys or trying out different things?
Yeah, I mean, I think in any game you ever step foot in, you want to win. I think going into the season, certainly on this Saturday is a game that we really want to win, and going into the season strong following a win. With that said, yeah, I mean, there's new tactics and that we're employing, and new people, and learning how each person works, as well as getting experience for a lot of really talented, less experienced younger guys, and that's really valuable experience for them during these games, to not only develop themselves but also put themselves in the right spot with the new manager. And so leading forward, I think it's a great group of experienced talent and younger talent that can hopefully achieve real things for this year and years to come.
Oliver?
Hi, thank you. This is Oliver Strand with Hudson River Blue. Last year, 2024, was a pretty spectacular year for you. It was your first full year as a starter, and you established yourself as one of the best goalkeepers in the league. But now to ask a question, like I guess for an overachiever, what do you want to work on? What do you want to improve in 2025? What are you looking to do to your game to level up this year?
Yeah, definitely. I think I thought it was a good year. I think the goals that I have for myself, they require a lot more than one good year. So I'm looking forward to improving every aspect of my game, in possession, shot stopping, proactive goalkeeping from crosses and wide spaces, decision making. And then I also think a big part of it for this year, a big emphasis will be working together as a defensive unit to limit the opponent's chances, limit the shots against. I think being able to rely on the guys in front of me doing their job, which they've been doing a great job at, will kind of continue to allow me to keep doing my job as well.
Roberto?
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hello.
When you were in the U.S. camp, and obviously you didn't play, but obviously you got a chance to practice a lot and be with the guys and be with the coaches. Was there anything special that you got out of it that maybe you didn't have before you went into that camp?
Yeah, I mean, there's always things to learn Yeah, there's always things to learn. A lot of goalkeeping philosophies that I learned, goalkeeping tactics and techniques. And I think a big part of it was, for me, it was also putting myself up against the other, the other guys in the league who are in that position and who are, pushing for national team call-ups in time, and putting myself in the spot to learn that I can be there, and I have the talent to be there, and to put myself in a spot to kind of reinvigorate myself to make sure I'm there every time.
Andrew?
Hi, Matt. Andrew Lee with Hudson River Blue. I wanted to ask, change in the goalkeeper group with Luis Barraza going to DC United and Greg Jansen coming in, does that sort of create any extra level of like internal competition? Like, do you sense among the guys that are returning and they're like more competition to be the sort of next person up if you're not available to play, kind of thing? And like, what is the feeling amongst the group knowing that it's slightly different from the personnel that you had a year ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think Greg's been a fantastic addition. Greg and I have known each other for years, and he's fit in perfectly with the group that we have. It's pretty funny to know that kind of, 3 out of the 4 of us have been together at different points in our careers. And so it's a really, really great group, really tight-knit group. And I think we're all invested in each other's success. And, with that said, there's always competition for every single place. There's no day that you can take for granted, no day that you can take off. So, in whatever position you're asking about, there's always competition.
Christian?
Hi, Matt. Pascal has a very strong reputation for developing players. I'm just curious how your early experiences have been to the exposure of his ideas, his methods, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic. Kind of from minute one of me meeting him, I recognize that he is a very, very confident and speaks with a lot of authority in a really good way, not in a bossy way, but in a personable way that the guys are just kind of naturally drawn to and naturally inclined to follow him. It's a really good balance there that he's found, and I know he has a very impressive track record of developing young players, and I'm sure that he'll do the same here. We have a ton of young talent, and really looking forward to the way he kind of maximizes that, continues to develop the young talent that we have.
Anyone else?
I can go again if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Matt, the club also released a new kit this week. I'm curious if you have any strong opinions on it and any maybe early memories you had as a kid of that first shirt that you got and maybe the name on the back of it.
The first goalkeeper kit I ever got was a Buffon white and black striped kit. That's funny that you ask about that. Yeah, it's a good, I think I still have it actually. I love the new kit that we have. I think it's kind of a good mix of new ideas, new design, as well as sticking to some of the historical legacy type colors that we have. So I'm really excited to watch the guys in front of me wear it. I'm not going to wear it myself. Wait until you see the goalkeeper kit. It's pretty cool.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Recording stopped.